shoulder. Hold me in your arms, baby. Squeeze me oh so tight. Show me that you love me too. Put your lips next to mine, dear. Won't you kiss me once, baby? Just a kiss goodnight, maybe. You and I will fall in love. Put your head on my shoulder. Hold me in your arms, baby. Squeeze me oh so tight. Show me that you love me too. Put your lips next to mine, dear. Won't you kiss me once, baby? Just a kiss goodnight, maybe. You and I will fall in love. Fall in love.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring was like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore.
Hello, can you hear me?
And here we go. I'm live. What's going on, everyone? I'm gonna transition in a bit. I'm just gonna fade the music out. And switching over to live, and we're live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Ask VP, the Vision Paradox podcast, where we generally talk about social media marketing stuff, but because hi Max, because we both kind of came from the same industry, and I've been super curious on how it would kind of affect it and change it and evolve it. I really wanted to have this conversation because I feel like it's relevant, like not just in terms of the artists like who are creating the digital art, but also the dance world. But anyways, I'm gonna introduce our guest. Today we have April Joy. Let me go start with the dance credits first. So competed with Cabo Modern, Modern,
You have this.
dance,
You have this information.
danced with Culture Shock, trained with Super Dave and Jason Wright, and also danced with Essence Dance Company. But she went from that. Now she's helping dancers mint NFTs, and essentially help manage their talent and help them kind of create their art and get paid for it in, I guess, the beginning of the Web3 world. And also you study data science. So
Yes.
the creator of It's Groove Time. So yeah, I had the pleasure of connecting with you through on Culture Shock during the alumni performance, and then seeing that, like, I talked about it a little bit with other dancers in regards to like NFTs, but you're the only one that I know of that went hard in it. like you're like helping others. You created a community out of it. So like I guess the main thing that I'm what's this? Hold on.
For sure.
Yeah, I guess the main thing that I am curious is like what I guess sparked your interest into it, and what was the catalyst to go all in.
Yo, so first of all, I'm impressed that you have my credits because you didn't even ask me for it.
Oh, I did. I just
Um,
look.
yeah, but I also want to say that I did not create Groove Time. So
Oh, got it.
our creator is actually his name is Kwesi, and he's amazing. He's been in tech his whole career, but he started dancing in college, and like he freestyles, he battles, and he really loves dance and loves like dance community. And then when he was studying in college, like he actually wanted to build technology to help dancers like retain dance better, and he wanted to fuse together like tech and dance pretty much. Yeah. So he built this platform, and I actually like hopped on board first to Groove Time as it was a learning platform. Like we were an app that teaches people how to dance, kind of like Dance Now. Like, oh wait, is it called Just Dance or Dance Now? It's like a video game.
Yeah, Just Dance, Just Dance.
Yeah, and you like you do the moves with like these things, and then
it's funny.
tracks your movement, right?
Yeah, I actually.
Do you have that game?
No, I actually auditioned for a commercial for it.
To be one of the dancers?
To be one of the dancers in the commercial. I didn't get it because scheduling conflicts. But yeah.
Yeah. And so like our app kind of looked a lot like that. Like it would give you accuracy scores. So if like the move was like this, and you were not doing the move that way, then the app would kind of dock you. It'll give you like a percentage, kind of like I'm Filipino, so like when you sing on Magic Mike, it gives you like a percentage.
the feedback loop.
Yeah, and so like that's how our app was. Like it would give you this percentage to let you know if you're like 90% accurate or 50% accurate. So when I came on board, I was hired to pretty much recruit dance instructors and onboard them to our platform as dance instructors. And then our CEO dropped the bomb that we were going to shift to become an NFT marketplace. And when he told me this, I was just like, what? Like, what is an NFT? I had so many questions, and it was so complex. And I would look at him in meetings and I'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Do you know what I'm saying? But my role remained the same. My role is still to recruit people and recruit dancers and build community and onboard dancers to our platform. And so I really had to educate myself about what NFT is and what opportunities it provides for dancers. And what really pulled me in was just this opportunity for dancers to elevate their art, one, and also profit on an entirely new level, because I've been a dance teacher for ever since like 2007. And there's a lot of burnout there being a dance teacher, like hustling as a dance teacher.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, like I would look at other dancers, and luckily other dancers would be able to like book these amazing gigs, right? But I always had to work like 3 jobs. I was never just a dance teacher. I was always working like in retail or fast food, or you know what I'm saying? Like I had other
the dance
jobs,
hustle.
and like exactly. And I feel like as a result of the pandemic, I lost my studios. Like Kinja's dojo shut down, and like other studios, you couldn't be there safely to teach anymore. So when the opportunity of NFTs came to mind, that like, oh, you can actually profit not from these services that you're exchanging, like not just because I'm teaching you, not just because I'm performing, because the pandemic has taken all of that away, right?
Yeah.
But that,
it's kind of happening like now with kind of like all these other shows, especially on Broadway, they're stopping.
Exactly, right? And so dancers are really, it's hard. Dance is hard enough without a pandemic. Now put in the pandemic, dancers are out of gigs, dancers can't be in communities. So NFTs really offer like an opportunity for dancers to profit on an entirely new level, because you can actually sell your dance videos as a product. And this doesn't mean that you need to be with your customer base. Like they don't need to be right in front of you in order to like for you to profit,
Yeah.
because it's not about teaching or the services you provide, but it's more so about the art that you produce and that you have like, put money already for a videographer for, or, put your time because you choreographed.
Yeah.
Um, so it just helps dancers to kind of profit on an entirely new avenue.
Hmm.
And being like a starving artist for so long, I think that's just kind of why like I was hella pulled into it, because I was like, yo, I see so many talented people who are struggling, trying to make money, and they're so talented and they work so hard and they produce such awesome material. Like they should be able to sell their work and continue to profit even in the pandemic. So, and in the age of social media where your work can reach someone all the way across the globe,
Oh
all
yeah.
the way across oceans, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so why not harness that, harness the internet, the power of the internet, and kind of just profit on an entirely new level by thinking bigger in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, because I think what I see some people doing is they're just selling it as the art. Like, here's a clip
Mm,
or here's the video. Do you think it'll eventually be like the same as like how people sell it as courses? Or like, like what you get with the
yeah.
original, like how, and I don't know, I forgot my follow up question for that. Like, what do you think are the other possibilities that people can do with through NFTs? Because the stuff I'm aware of, like that I know music artists are doing, like if you purchase this NFT ticket, you'll get like
Hmm.
future like VIP pass to meetups.
Totally.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I really think that right now a lot of people think about NFTs and they just think about like photos and videos, but that's not all that it can be. It legit is a product, and it can be any kind of product if
your
you
aunt
want it to
sending
be.
you a JPEG of her food.
No, but it can symbolize anything,
Yeah.
right? I've seen a tweet be an NFT. I've seen documents be an NFT. And like you said, it can represent something like a ticket. So let's say, like, if I was teaching, right, I could essentially sell like an NFT of my logo. I don't have a logo, but if I were to make one, I could probably just draw one. You see the art that's like out there right now. I could probably just draw one, and I could sell that as like a membership to my classes, right? Maybe I price it at a certain price. Then
Yeah.
let's say if you buy my NFT, you get to come to my classes for free for an entire year,
Ooh.
which is not, it's not a way that people are thinking right now, because all people are thinking about is like, oh, it's art, it's a those profile pictures, or it's just your video,
Oh
which is
yeah.
fine.
Hmm.
You can sell it that way, right?
Hmm.
But if you want to think in terms of how you can mold it into your business strategy and the things that you do, why don't you sell it as a ticket to something?
Mm.
Why don't you sell it as a ticket to an event? And why don't you honor your NFT buyers by, if they're your first NFT buyers, maybe they always get discounted tickets to like something that you're producing, or maybe they get like sneak peeks at merchandise that you're producing, or I don't know, or maybe they get like a one-on-one private class with you that they can like redeem sometime.
It's
I
like
think there's a lot of different uses, but people don't know, and they haven't explored that yet
yeah,
because
they just see these
Mhm.
like crypto punks and all the like the I forgot any of these. There's so many different projects, but the most common thing right now is like the whole profile pic look, which to me I'm
Yeah,
honestly like over. But if they have the clout and they have the whole like attention and ability to and sell, I mean, more power to them. Like,
I
but
love those actually. I have a
really,
few profile picture. Yeah, I have a
yeah.
few of those profile picture NFTs. I love them. I like them because like, they usually have like 10,000 or something, and I like finding the ones that resembles me or that just like
Oh, I
kind of
could.
speaks to me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I see what you're
So,
talking about. Yeah, for me, that's
mm,
that's similar to how like when when I'm playing a video game and I'm creating the character to look what best represents me. I really like that.
yes.
I really like that the way you put that.
I do, because my profile picture is Alpha Girl Club, and I love Alpha Girl Club for all of their girls. They're so unique and so different, and I had to find one who has like a septum ring like I do, and who's like pink. I love pink, and then she has like reptile skin, and I was like, that's my girl. I'm gonna buy her.
Okay, so since
I love those.
we're talking about
Yeah.
that, like, what do you look for when picking like NFT projects, or like either personal, or I don't know if you do if you sell these as well, sell like you buy to sell as well. So what do you look for? Is there criteria you have?
Um, I do judge the art and whether I think the art is cute or I like the art. And if the art speaks to me, I look into the community. I look into like who is involved, like who is their founder, who are their designers, who's in marketing, and what are they? I look on their Twitter accounts and I'm like, what are they into? I joined Discords to get a sense of what the community is like, if there's any activity at all, because I feel like Discord groups are so lively with NFT communities. There are some that are really, really foster a sense of community, and then some that don't. So Alpha Girl Club, for example, and I'm mentioning them a lot because they're just amazing. But they have like Twitter spaces where it's like they do mental health Twitter spaces and sound healing and
Wow.
a community where people just meet each other and just talk, right? So I feel like I look for community for sure. And then there's a couple NFT projects where I look for the flipping opportunity, to see if I have enough money to like partake. But I do follow NFT projects for a while to look who's in the space, look who's in the group. I don't just like buy something without knowing like a little bit about the community first. So community is great to me. Who's involved, like who's in the project. And how those leaders kind of interact with their community members with Discord or with Twitter, if they feel like real human beings or not.
Yeah, because I feel like
Yeah.
like from an just an outside perspective, it's like, oh, you just look at the art and you buy what you like, but really it's like it gotta look more into that.
Yeah, for sure. And community is like super important to me because I feel like a lot of these NFT photos, you look at the art and you question whether or not it's really art, right? But people are not buying for the art. They're buying for other things, whether it's entry into the community or whether it's a utility. Like Gary Vee, for example, like he has his NFTs and the art is like, I think he draws it himself.
Like just doodles. Yeah, I'm on this Discord and watching V Friends as well.
Yeah, and so I think that when you buy his NFTs, depending on maybe what the NFT is, you get like access to his conference for 3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there are other NFT projects where if you buy their NFTs, you get access to their events. You get access tickets pretty much to the things that they're going to be doing in the future. So people will buy for like utility pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, what can I do with this NFT? What is it granting me? And I don't think that there's a right or wrong way to buy NFTs. If you want to buy an NFT just because you love the art, then go freaking buy it. If you want to buy it because you're trying to get concert tickets, then buy it because you're trying to get concert tickets. But every project's going to be different. And I don't think that there's a right and wrong way to partake in buying NFTs. So I think everything's going to be a little bit different for me.
Yeah, you just reminded me because I remember seeing, I think, an ad on Instagram about Gary Vee's like one of these exclusive restaurant kind of events, like where it's like premium like dinner, like exclusively served for a certain amount of people, and the only way to be to join that club is by purchasing the NFT.
True. Yeah.
So
true.
like, so
and I'm sure, I don't know do you know what the prices are for that? Did
no,
you see the prices?
I saw the ad. I saved it. I'll send it to you once I find it. And then what do you call it? And then I went straight back to work. I was like, oh, that's genius. Okay, I gotta work it back to work. Like,
it might be freaking expensive, I wonder.
Yeah, it's like one of those like premium, like high end restaurant places, and like I think they might be hosting it at different places every month, and the only way to get into the club and the kind of like membership kind of thing is to have an NFT.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like I get a lot of NFT questions from my friends on like Instagram, and they'll text me and be like, "Is this real? Like, is this project real?" And like they'll ask me whether or not like this page is legit because maybe they want to buy into the NFT. And I just tell people like you've got to do some research. Like if you want me to check if this is real, what I would do is I would look on all the pages. I would look on Twitter. You have to click, and if there's claiming that they're with a celebrity or something, then you got to find out whether the celebrity has posted any information too. So it really is just like researching. Like,
Yeah.
if you're looking to get into NFTs, you're interested in projects, you've got to just do the research and figure out before buying into it, because it can be risky.
Yeah, it is, especially like now.
Yeah.
Like anyone can kind of put up a fake Shopify store and scam people. Like I've had a friend who just go on a tangent real quick. He bought Sonic the Hedgehog shoes, but they were not what they were presenting. So same thing. Especially it's trickier now with NFT. Everything is digital. You can't exactly like track it per se, or like But yeah. So
Crazy for sure. There's a lot of risks involved, and people have lost money, and people have invested in projects that have gotten drugged. Like the projects just kind of like completely disappear. So do your research.
Yeah.
Take the time.
Yeah. Just because I don't know if you get it, but I get a lot of messages on Discord like about this NFT project. I'm like, oh my god, I just need like it just spam both on my Instagram and my Discord. I'm like, stop. It's
so
like
you're a gamer, right? Like you've been on Discord even before NFTs, is that right?
I wouldn't consider myself a gamer, but I've been on Discord.
Yeah.
Before NFTs,
so
yeah.
There's a lot of bots for sure. So what I do is I just turn off my DMs right away. Like, because I realize if you don't turn off your DMs, these bots will just automatically start messaging you, and you shouldn't be clicking on any links in there because they might hack you or something. So it's better, turn off your DMs for sure.
And because I'm assuming this is people trying to promote the NFT. So how would you, like someone say who wants to start their project, how would you help them in getting started from, like, say, even minting to promoting? And I've been watching, like, I lurk on your group on your Discord and your Instagram, so I'm not the most active commenter. I just watch and observe. But how would you help them from the ground up, and like to promoting, like building the audience, and to all the way to selling their first NFT?
Yeah, so are you talking about like just dance specifically, dance NFTs?
Yeah, let's go. Let's stick with that.
How we do it.
Yeah.
So at Groove Time, what we're building on the back end is a mobile app. So it's gonna be like an iPhone app that lets you pretty much mint and sell, and hopefully it'll be user friendly, and it'll help dancers pretty much like create a profile and sell their work on our app. Since we're building the app, a lot of what we're doing now is very manual. So we pretty much are chatting with creators. If creators have a video already, which actually not many creators are actually ready with like 100% video, they're usually lacking like music, right? So because with NFTs, you cannot use copyrighted music, and you should not use copyrighted music, because if you're selling work that uses copyrighted music and you have not gotten the approval to use that, these artists can pretty much sue you, because it's like directly copyright infringement, because you're selling something with their work. Which is different from just like posting on Instagram, because you're not really selling anything on Instagram quite, directly. Yeah. You're just showing like class video or whatever. Yeah. But anyway, so one thing that dancers usually have a struggle with is music. So we help to pair and find producers that could work with the artist, in which then if profits come in, the dancer and then the musician would split the profits. So we help kind of form that bridge between dancer and musician. They create a video. They just send us the file, the video file. And then we just pretty much help them go talk about their NFT. We do IG Live. We're going to start to do Twitter Spaces, because we find that that's where NFT artists are doing a lot of the networking,
Yeah.
which is very effective versus traditional like Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah.
So we'll probably be doing Twitter Spaces, but we pretty much do. We hold the dancers and musicians' hands as we kind of go from having them meet, create this video. We grab their video, we'll put it up on our platform on the back end. We have like engineers, coders at the ready, and all the creator has to do is market it.
Oh, nice.
The creators will tell us, we'll kind of give them a little bit of data on what's out there on the NFT space right now, like what we see dancers pricing their NFTs at. And so we give like the creators this data, and then the creators can decide for themselves, okay, I want to do this many editions, whether they want to do an edition or not.
Yeah.
And then this is how I want to price it. This is how many days, let's auction it. We just plug that all in, and then the creator pretty much doesn't front any money really, other than like maybe paying your videographer. But we don't take anything at Groove Time. We just help them pretty much mint their video and get it up for sale, help them market it. So yeah, it takes a lot of co-marketing though. Like we only have our circle to market to, right? But the creators also have to be talking about their work. They have to introduce themselves to other artists so that they can get eyeballs on their work, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a collaborative experience.
Yeah, it's very much like how like social media marketing, like because I run a marketing company. Like it's like you don't just post it and magic happens. It's like and that's something like I got to break with a lot of like clients who've never touched social media. And same thing with NFT. If it's there, it's not just because it's on like OpenSea, or it's not gonna magically get attention.
Yeah, and this is where what I've been like hearing from a lot of NFT artists is that the best way to market your work is to be in Twitter.
Wow.
To be in Twitter Spaces talking. Like there's a lot of Twitter Spaces right now on NFTs.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks because it takes up a lot of time, right? To go into Twitter Space to have these conversations, because sometimes these Twitter Spaces are like 3 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
But the traditional way of going on Instagram or TikTok, a lot of NFT artists haven't found it like really effective. Yeah, and I also feel like when I post on Instagram, like I post about NFTs, and it's hella quiet. Like people don't want to like say.
It's the intent, yeah. Because people are on Instagram to just like to escapism.
Yeah. But I think Twitter Space is so effective because people can actually have dialogue.
Yeah.
You can have conversations and people can meet one another versus it being like a one-sided thing.
Yeah.
So Twitter Spaces has for sure been really effective to help artists meet each other. And it's very grassroots type marketing. Kind of brings me back to like days when you'd have to go to a party and like talk about yourself and your work, versus like just showing someone your Instagram page,
oh man,
or your LinkedIn. You actually have to make these connections, and if you're not, then your project might not do well. So yeah, that's just how it is right now in this like infant stage of NFTs, I think.
Man, that's crazy. Like I love that. I haven't used Twitter Spaces yet, but I've just not in terms of like me hosting them, but I hop in there and just listen once in a while. I think that's really cool that it is through Twitter Spaces, because it's like it's not just a post. It's like you actually have to connect. You have to actually build relationships, which is essentially like, going back to the beginning, people invest in these NFT projects because of, it might be the art, but it might also just be the person, or what they offer, like the value they give to other artists or the community.
Yeah, and it's getting to know other people in the space and like hearing people's stories. I think, it's interesting to see. Like a lot of people are asking on these Twitter Spaces, like, do the typical marketing methods work? Email newsletter, Facebook ads, and all this kind of stuff. And a lot of the artists that I'm listening to, they're just like, not really. So it's quite challenging for people who are not used to talking about their work too. Like NFTs in itself are overwhelming to like absorb, right? But I think the community of NFT artists, they've already gotten past this like hump of like onboarding themselves.
Yeah.
That now they're on the other end of it, and now they can actually have conversations about, you know, how they want to present their work and how can they effectively like market their work. It's an interesting community to kind of just like observe and listen in on their convos.
That's wild. I would love to hear how they're just marketing themselves like through these Twitter Spaces, because in my world, it's like Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, email marketing is like just automated, but this is like very hand to hand, and I guess it makes sense too, because it's like, since it's, I'd say like you said, in its infancy, I don't see all the other platforms of like automation yet. But it also, but I also think it's just what keeps it, I don't know, almost pure in a sense, because it's not just an ad. It's, you know, the conversation.
Yeah, and it's about having like these real human connections, right? As artists too, you're able to tell your stories, and hopefully it resonates with someone on the other side, right? But I think it also can be negative because it people are burnt out. Like I go on these Twitter Spaces and people are like, I'm on these Twitter Spaces like 16 hours a day, and I'm on the other side like, oh my God, 16 hours a day. Like, you know, I think automation has helped us, like running Facebook ads. Like your Facebook algorithm will find the people for you, right?
Yeah.
Like people who like the bags. If you like Louis Vuitton, they'll present your work to people who like Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Right? It makes it so easy, but now for these artists who are coming out on the NFT space, you have to actually like have these one-on-one conversations with people on Twitter Space, which takes up a lot of time. So I think what will help for artists who are coming out in this space is like make friends and support other artists, because you will get that support back, and be genuine about it. Don't like just be shady and be like, oh, here's my project, and like just keep talking about your project.
Oh,
like
God,
genuinely support other people, because if you are gonna do this all on your own, you are gonna burn out, and it's not gonna be sustainable.
Oof.
So you need your support system for sure, until maybe automation may happen later in the future.
Yeah,
right.
I feel like there's like, you know, OpenSea. What was the other one? Verify? Is that
Rarible?
Rarible, there you go. I feel like those like the beginnings of like what social, like Web 2.0 social media was, like Friendster and all that, MySpace, like those are the early versions, until we have ultimately come to like a Facebook or an Amazon where it has the automation tools.
That's such a long like trajectory too, but who knows, like NFT space is like transforming so quickly. Dude. And we have so many more like technology available to us now, so we might get there soon. I mean, I feel the same with like VR and metaverse. I'm like, they're pushing that. This came a little faster than I thought it would. And then I just did like some like watch some YouTube videos, my research, quote, in air quotes, but like some people like doing like in VR chat, like people in the VR world, like some people have like an NFT gallery just showing off all their NFT art. I'm like, this is what it's gonna be. This is what it's gonna be. It's crazy. And like when my boss was talking to me about NFTs, I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna happen in the future. I didn't know that we were about to drop NFTs already. So like it was coming quick. It's not the future. Like this stuff is happening now. And it's so funny because like I like Black Mirror, right? Black Mirror on Netflix, the TV show. Do you watch that?
Yeah, dude.
And I'm always like, oh, I want more episodes of Black Mirror. And then my friends are just like, but we're in an episode of Black Mirror right now. Like there's no episodes because we're in one right now. It's so funny.
We had an entire year dedicated to an episode of it.
We did, but it's like it is happening now. Like all this like metaverse situation, like you can have a body in the metaverse, and you can, meet people in the metaverse. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny because like before we started recording, we talked about Animal Crossing and how that's
Yes.
how you stay connected with people, and you'd visit people's islands. And I was like, that's exactly like the beginnings like of metaverse, or even Farmville. Like back in the old school,
Yeah.
like when Facebook did games, people would sell like certain items just so they can have it. So when I like, yeah, God, 2004 when I was playing video games hardcore, like I played a game called Diablo 2. My brothers would sell items to other players for hundreds of bucks.
Like real money.
Yeah, real money for an item in a video game. So this is like what I'm thinking, like metaverse, like you know
Yeah.
how like this virtual currency and like people willing to pay for things. My son right now, I had to have a talk with him to stop buying stuff on Minecraft.
Oh my god. I mean, that's
Like-
just like
It's
that's
like
crazy.
it's just
I mean, but it's not crazy. Like this is what people have done, and like we now have like technology to kind of just take it to a new level, and it's just an interesting time to be living in with like the availability of technology right now.
Yeah,
and the
and
advances of technology.
that shows like we like it, as weird and like on paper it sounds weird. You're putting money for something in the digital world, but it's also
Yeah.
but like in actual practice or like it's like it makes sense. Like I play video games like this is one video game I play. I've already maxed out my level. I only play it so I can get new skins, and just so I can just
Wow.
to show off the
Yeah.
just to flex on the look. And it's gonna happen in the metaverse. I forgot what was that acquisition from like Nike. They bought this one company.
Artifacts?
Yeah, when like it's all and
Yeah.
like metaverse or like yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, the world has shifted to being on electronics, like, phones, and we're always on our phones and always on our laptops. And so I guess to have a presence in some place like the metaverse and to have like this avatar and this profile in like the digital world, I feel like it's just emerged because of how connected we are to our electronics. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, especially in the pandemic, like we have lost social connections. People are just glued to,
Yeah.
like us right now. Like, I'm talking to you
We're-
through my computer.
And
Yeah,
halfway
and-
all like across the country and just connected.
Yeah. And so I feel like it's really interesting that people are buying things for like their metaverse apartments or metaverse pods because we spend a lot of time with our electronics. I feel like it just makes sense
Yeah, it's the
in
next.
this age that we live in.
Yeah, it's like the next. It only makes sense. Like we went from like text updates to photo updates to video updates. It only makes sense to like have VR. My significant other Max, she used to play League of Legends and leveled it up and to a point where she sold it to like $500.
What in the world?
Yeah. So
That is crazy. All right.
So-
Yeah.
what I'm curious to hear your thoughts on like the people who kind of meme and like NFTs. Like they think that it's just here's a JPEG of my food. Here's a JPEG of I don't know your uncle's toenail. Like it's worth $1,000 now. Like what are your thoughts on the people? Like I think it's a good thing, but I think there's also like the very similar to how the crypto bros in 2015 2016 about Bitcoin were like they're just talking about it constantly. There's so much conversation, mainstream talk about it. Like what
Yeah.
are
I think it's, I will like post up memes like that too. I think it's funny. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm not offended by it. But I think that people just don't get it. And maybe they don't know enough about like what it really means, right? Because I think when I first heard about NFTs too, like I was literally questioning like, so you buy a video, but you can still see it everywhere on YouTube. Like you can still see it everywhere on Instagram, but you're buying it. Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
Right. But when I started to get this sense that like, no, it's like a specific token, and what that token can represent is like an attachment to an organization, an attachment to a creator. It's more than just like what the media is.
Yeah.
It's about like, it can be, I guess what you say like is utility, and the access that it gives you to these organizations, because you can track that, right? So it's not necessarily like the media itself. A lot of the times it could be like, what else does it come with? Like what you're being plugged into a community, for example, right? Like when you own like some of these profile picture NFTs, you're given utility to be able to go to Gary Vee's conference if you own an NFT. And then if you're really buying the art because you appreciate the art, you get to claim ownership over the art.
Yeah.
Not to say that you can't, like, you know, you're not going to stop it from being distributed on like Instagram or YouTube, but if it's viral, you can claim ownership over that viral video and be like, I freaking own
I got the
that.
paperwork, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I think it's funny when people meme about NFTs, because I'm not offended.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah, because it's obviously made people profit. It's obviously like, you know, made people rich. And so
people,
I'm like,
dude,
I ain't docking it
Yeah.
because it's working for some people. So like, you can hop on or you can't. Like, it's gonna happen regardless.
Yeah.
So
the way I kind of like explained it, I think was Gary Vee's explanation, but it was like, you can take a picture of the Mona Lisa, but you can't own it. You can take a selfie with the Mona Lisa, but you'll never own it. You don't have the actual certificate of ownership. So like, it's the museums, like same thing with NFT. You can screenshot it, but it's not yours. You can, you know, all that stuff. So that's essentially like what, in terms of the ownership side, like it's like you can like have like show proof that this is my art, and like, I own this. And then and I think the one part that really intrigued me was the fact that people get what do you call it, residuals from it when people flip it, because I know people like are into art collecting and they're just selling that, they can forever get residuals for it.
They can forever get residuals, and the value goes like up or down, you know, just like stocks do through the years.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're right that like you can take a picture of the Mona Lisa, but it doesn't mean that you own it, right? And so I think that when a creator says this NFT is like the NFT of this video, it's like what I'm claiming to be the legit, you know, copy of this media. Everything else is bootleg. Like, you know what I'm saying? So everything else like that you see on Instagram or YouTube, like that's like the bootleg, and you can maybe watch the bootleg, but you don't own like the actual thing.
Kind of brings me to the next question, because I saw this today watching Philip DeFranco there's a problem with plagiarism in the NFT space, where like literally someone took a screenshot of a YouTuber's like main page and minted it, and all it had was the link and said it's yours, and people were trying to buy that. And then there's another artist, I forgot, they're just making like, they're taking these, say example, a celebrity, and putting it on this this other fake background, and then trying to sell it as that. So I mean, so in my head, what, say for example, they find an Instagram video with an original track, like what's to stop them from like pulling that video and minting it as their own? You know, I think that's one thing. I haven't heard any like ways of how it's being mitigated. I'm pretty sure that there's policies in the terms of service, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
I also don't know if there's any policies or ways that these things are being mitigated right now. And that's what dancers and artists have to understand, is that this stuff does happen, depending on like fair use laws. And I think it kind of like translates to what can people rightfully like sell in like the traditional world, right? Like if you are not the photographer of something, can you legally like print out a photograph that someone else shot, and can you legally sell that? And if you did, can you get sued for it? Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like those laws will transfer over, because it just like concerns people in the photos and also like who owns the image. So I think that there are going to be a lot of legal battles with
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah, and I think those issues are gonna continue to arise, but I can't say that like there's any um, policies being created right now to help that situation. And I do think that there are current like lawsuits going on concerning that. But the thing is, it's like if someone takes your work, you might be able to sue them, but like taking people to court is so expensive.
Oh
So
yeah.
you actually, even though you might have the right to sue them, you might not want to spend that money to sue them. And so that's where like this whole like cancel culture, things kick in, like people outing each other and saying like this person did this, and you can do all that. In terms of like Groove Times platform, I think what we like to do for dance, right, is that because people are going to be able to mint their own dance videos, because we care about the dance community, we want to be able to like flag videos if we sense that there's like some suspicious thing going on. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a checks and balance for dancers, and I guess for dance videos on our platform anyway. Being able to verify the creator and that the creator actually like created this dance, and you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
we're going to figure out on our platform how to do that, which is not what I think other platforms are going to do, because other platforms may not care about dancers. So it is something in our thoughts to make for our platform and develop for our platform. And we'll continue to see how it progresses once we get more creators onboarded. Once this becomes like so massive that everyone's going to be able to have access to our platform,
Yeah.
we want to plug that in somehow, and we're going to have to see how it pans out. But I don't think that other platforms, because other platforms are not going to be dance centric,
Yeah.
they won't look out for dancers that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at least if someone wants to sell on Groove Time a dance video, there's gonna be like a verification, something to check whether or not this is like legit, like your video and your creation.
Yeah. I mean, that's good to hear, because it's like, again, like if I go OpenSea, I feel like I can just grab any JPEG right now and just boom, without fault. But then again, I haven't tried that. I haven't minted any NFTs yet. I'm being a what do you call it, picky little prick about it. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, we still have to like, people still have to try and understand like fair use laws too, between like, what can you sell in terms of like being your image. Like just because it's on Facebook or Instagram, can you necessarily sell that like rightfully, legally? Can someone take you to court? You know what I'm saying? If you even just print out a copy of it, like, and no one's gonna care if you're selling it for $5, right? But the issue will be when people sell it for like thousands and millions of dollars or something.
Yeah. So one thing I was looking at through your through Groove Time, you guys use the Solana blockchain.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to how come, why Solana?
Solana, I think, well, I know this for sure. It's, the gas fees are really low. It's like 0.000 something to transact, which just makes it very easy to access for people who are getting onboarded onto NFTs.
Yeah, gas fees are
people
expensive.
Who are, yes, like gas fees can be $200, $300, and you pay that just to, for example, Ethereum, you pay that just to list your NFT without even the guarantee that it will sell. And if you believe in the artwork, you'll pay that, right? Because you're making an investment. But I think for a lot of dancers, like I personally don't have money to pay like $200, $300 just to mint something.
Yeah.
And maybe a lot of people don't, right? So I think having like very low cost, upfront costs, will just allow dancers to partake in this environment. And so all that they have to worry about is like putting their work up there and very low upfront costs. And then So with the low gas fees, I also think that it's like better for the environment somehow.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I think that's, but mainly like that barrier to entry is we want dancers to be able to mint their own work. But if it's gonna cost them like $300 to do so, we're not sure if that actually like helps dancers.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That makes sense because
cost is main thing.
yeah, that makes sense because low barrier of entry just makes it easier for, or I'd say user friendly, rather.
Yeah, and like to do any transaction, there's a gas fee. To sign, you have to. I think like, to place a bid, there's a gas fee. To accept a bid, there's a gas fee. To transfer money, there's a gas fee. There's a gas fee for everything.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I ain't got all this money to just be like transacting
Yo.
like $100 every single time.
Yeah, I think you, because as we were talking about this, I think we have a mutual friend in Donna.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She's been interested in. I don't know if she's still how deep she's into NFTs, but she's been doing a lot of NFT artwork, and I think you two.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys have
sick,
I don't know if you guys have connected, but I think a conversation needs to be had between you two because she wants to be like an NFT queen.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I think that she probably is an NFT queen if she's been in it for a while already. But yeah, I'd love to connect with her. I haven't seen her since like, oh my God, like probably over 10 years. I'm not sure.
Yeah, she and I are in a business mastermind together, so we just like check in.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'd love to connect with her. Do you know where she's selling her work?
No, she's not. She's well, actually,
Oh.
I can't speak for her, but I know she wanted to do it. She's been creating artwork, and I think she's been like, I think it needs to be on there. And that's where like she
I
wants to be
see.
on an NFT queen, like because the stuff she's producing is fantastic.
Oh, sick. Yeah, yeah. I would love to share any information I have about NFTs. Like, and people are like, why don't you create your own? And I'm just like, I love hyping up other people. Like, I will hype up other people before I do my own work. Like, I just believe in other people so much. And I have, our friends on Culture Shock, and like, just there's so many talented people in the dance community, and not just dancers, like people who are doing film and music and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, I believe that other people can thrive in this environment. So it's exciting for me to be able to share what information I have to help other people who are so talented and hardworking, like grow, hopefully, and enter the space and potentially grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one thing that I'm really curious is to see how this, just seeing how you use the NFT utility for like say potential dance class, but then metaverse. I don't know. I like playing with ideas, like eventually like taking a metaverse dance class, and the only way to get in there is you have to have this person's like Frantic's free NFT.
Yeah.
And he's like teaching you how to do hits in the metaverse.
So I mean, there's a lot of talk, right, about like NFTs and for these avatars to be able to emote and do like dance moves.
Yo.
And so yeah, and so it is kind of in Groove Time's plans somehow in the future to be able to provide that data to metaverse games, in which like if you own, for example, Frantic's NFT, then the NFT carrying this movement tracking data could then be transferred to your avatar, and your avatar can just like get down,
dude. That's almost like cheating. Imagine if there's a battle in the metaverse and you just put in the Frantic.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like those
and
your
if you
moves
own,
are
like,
just.
if you own hella Frantic NFTs, right, you can just bust out all these like moves that Frantic
Oh
does.
God, Frantic versus Frantic NFTs.
No, that's crazy. And I mean, so because our app, like we were a learning app before, and like I was telling you, our app tracks like the movement, like Just Dance, right?
Yeah.
And so like the data can be carried in the video itself. Like it can be read from the video itself, because what I think a lot of other companies might be doing is they actually have the dancers in like these, the suits, and they put like the nodes on you, and then,
Yeah.
you actually have to get in there and move. But I think because of Group Time's motion tracking tech with our video, the way that our app was able to do it before, like the videos can carry that data without the dancer needing to be
Like
up in
a tracking
that
suit.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Just
Yeah.
the amount of possibilities just
Yeah.
is blowing my mind. And I know, like with my dance company, I'd like to go into the NFT space, but it's like for me, it's a huge debate of like what that looks like aside from just a dance video. But I think it's probably because I'm just gonna call myself. I think it's just like me just being overthinking it, and I just need to just put one out there. So
and this, there's like different types of people who are into NFTs right now. Like people who are like, yeah, let's do it. Let's just go and let's just freaking try something.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then I was talking to my friend Ben last night, and then he was like, there's also a group of people who are just like standing at the edge of the pool, and they're just looking at each other like, are you gonna go? Who's gonna go first? Like, who's gonna go first?
Yeah.
And so there's people who are going to kind of jump in and just give it a shot, and then there's people who really want to like craft, I guess, how they want to enter the space. They want to make sure that their community is ready, that they prime their community, and they want to put some thought into it. And there's no right or wrong way. Like, I do feel that the people who are courageous to try something now, that they're helping the community get some data about like, okay, what is effective for this person? Why did this person maybe sell? Or why were they able to sell and why not? What could have been done differently, right? And I feel like the people who are waiting, they're kind of waiting for a little bit more data to come in.
Yeah, like so I was like, what was it? I forgot that graph. There's like the early adopters, and then like after that, there's like this next generation, like because the early adopters are already taking all the risk.
Yeah, but it's exciting to, I think, be an early adopter. I think to be able to learn about NFTs and its like early formations, it kind of keeps you not ahead of the game, or maybe ahead of the game. But I feel like the community is just going to grow so fast, and information is going to just grow so fast. And if you don't at one point just like decide, I'm going to try it, you will already be like far behind.
Yeah. Like doing an NFT is definitely like, at least on my top 5 this year. Last year I had no time at all.
And the hard thing is like onboarding people, right? Because if you think it's so overwhelming, because if you think like, oh, I want to do an NFT, but then you start kind of walking through the motions and you're like, okay, but then I have to talk about this NFT, and then like, are people even going to understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like onboarding is super important, and that's what we're really passionate about at Groove Time too, is like providing education so that we can help dancers get onboarded, because it is so frustrating.
Yeah, it's like, because listing an NFT, I think, is easy as just like boom, 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 because I've seen there's so many YouTube tutorials about it, and there's plenty of YouTube tutorials already talking about what an NFT is, which is why I didn't ask those basic questions. But like the process of like putting it out there, to me, that's a part of the responsibility. I'm like, am I ready for that? Because it's always like, for example, like building up my YouTube channel, I was like, cool, here's an idea, put it out there, but then I also have to push it out to other things and promote it. So it's the same. Yeah. It's like I would almost say it's similar, just on a different medium, and it's like because but like different, obviously, barrier of entry, but also at the end of the day, it's like it's marketing a product, putting it out there. Just it's like that's one part for me personally, that level of like the work does intimidate me, because it's already like God, I'm like in my head, like I hear, I don't know if you have this self conversation. It's like you're aware of the responsibility, but you're also, but you know you want this, so you make a decision here, guys. But yeah, but that's like just just to be open and honest, like the responsibility of like doing all the other stuff does intimidate me. But I know, like, there's a quote I keep in my head, like when I'm having these indecisive moments of like 99% is a bitch, 100% is easy. Because like once there's a decision to commit, it the resistance goes away.
That's true. Like, and I do feel that oftentimes we get in our heads, and that leaves us with like choice paralysis, right? Like, or just paralysis in general, because
Analysis
we
paralysis,
can't make a move. Yeah. And so I do think it's important to maybe take the time, right, to think about maybe some of the goals or why you want to do it. If you do want to do something and release something just for the sake of seeing how it goes, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? If you just want to try, right, you'll get your learnings, and then that will better inform you to try something again.
Yeah.
Right. Because you've already tried it once, which kind of already will put you ahead of the game a little bit, because you have gone through the experience.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's good to have like a plan and like, you know, want to make sure that you've got this all like set up nicely and stuff. But I don't think there's a right or wrong way. I think you can just give something a shot if you're willing to do that. What you're doing by giving this a shot is, again, you have to just take it as an experiment and take your learnings to better inform how you might want to do it again. Or if you do want to just like take time, simmer and wait and like, you know, see how things are moving around, that's cool too. But I think as with anything, right, almost like going into a battle or just like sessioning. You know, like you're kind of like, all right, when do I go in? when the song comes on, you know what I'm saying? Get into my song. What if your song never comes? Then you're never gonna get in there, right?
Yeah. I feel seen. Like when my 2000, like when my younger dancer feels so seen right now. Like
and my problem is like I never go. Like I just freaking wait until like it's so easy and so like comfortable, right? But I think it's okay to take risks, you know, and it's okay to just have like minimal expectations. Especially if you are able to get support from other people. Like at Groove Time, we want to support dancers in their first journey into this. And so like for people like Frantic and Lorena, we super appreciate their courage and just being like, yeah, let's just see where this freaking goes, because now they're better informed as to how they might want to approach their next video.
Oh yeah.
And it didn't even really like cost them anything. They didn't front any money.
Yeah. Like now they
actually I'm sorry, I think Lorena did pay her videographer Bohemio in Mexico, so I think she did front him, but you know, she got money as well. But it's like now they can be better informed for how they want to do their next projects.
Yeah. So for the videos, like, do they do you provide the music first and then they dance and film to it, or do they like provide do they provide you a video with music and you guys create a completely different track matching the BPMs? So
with Frantic, he actually gave us a video that he recorded 4 years ago. And
oh wow.
So it was low cost for him. He literally gave us a video that he shot 4 years ago. And we overlaid his track by finding a producer. And the producer is actually the guy who wrote Angel of Mine by Monica like years ago, my jam.
What?
Yeah. So Junior, our director of music, he was able to pull from his network the producer, and the producer created the track over Frantic's video. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, like I listened to that song when I was little. But so that's what we did with Frantic. And then with Lorena, we paired her with a track that was already produced. And so I think it'll vary per creator and what they want, and you know how much they'd be willing to split the profits with everyone involved. Yeah. But it can go either way. What we want to do at Group Time is hopefully build a library of music in our app where, like, okay, here's our library of songs, just like on Spotify. You could scroll through, hopefully, and like choose a song that you can rightfully use. And hopefully, there, the music producers will write down what kind of percentage split they want, whether they want to get 50%, 25%, 30%. And like a dancer can just choose the song. And the dancer can then like create a video to it, and pretty much like that'll be it, like simple and easy.
Yeah,
it's going to take some time to get there, but that is like our vision, is that you can easily just do this on your phone, because we have a network of music producers. Things are already set up. You just pretty much choose what you want.
Yo, that's tight. That's freaking I'm like just excited just the thought of it. What like because I'm like have you worked with someone like just that bulk sends you like, here's the videos like that I would like to
Not yet.
Not is that something that you guys would be able to do? Like say they do like a frantic, they send you like older clips in bulk. I don't know if there's like a limit in terms of length, but yeah,
I mean, it's just going to take time right now because, like I said, we're doing everything manually. We're still building our network of music producers. It's not like we have them available right now
on deck. Yeah.
And so finding producers to do the job of overlaying the track, that's also work for them, right? And just as it's hard to get some dancers onboarded to NFTs, that's also a job for musicians still have to like also wrap their minds around NFTs, and we also still have to have those conversations with musicians. And so, you know, it's going to grow, but what I'm finding is that when people want to do their NFTs, they actually don't want to put old videos out. They want to create something like fresh and new, and like this is, you know, the music has to like inspire the dance, right? Versus like, you know, here's my video, and you don't even know if the producer might do a good job of overlaying, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So I think the preference is to create like a new video that the dancer can be inspired by the music.
I'm getting like so many ideas right now.
You are.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
Excited.
Yeah, because I mean, I
great.
have like my dance company. I've been like, we're gonna create an NFT. I don't know when, and then my like the board of people, and they're like, what's that?
Yep.
And they're
that conversation, like, what is that? Oh,
and then they're like, that's why we let you do like the business and future like technology stuff. I'm like, I just feel like it gotta have a taste at least, and yeah. I mean, and that it'll be less scary if you put out an NFT with like a group of people, like your homies and friends, right? Yeah.
So that could be a good way to break into it, because then you're not alone. You can do it with like a collective.
Well, like here, what I'm thinking out loud, like just out loud now in terms of my ideas, like because we like really pride ourselves in really taking the time to produce a lot of dance short films. So like if there's a new track, we can storyboard it and film it from scratch, because we already have the means of production. I would just have my crew do it, and my company would edit it, and that's there we go.
Yeah, I mean, like, dancers, we do this. You guys do this all the time, like create videos, right? I think the only barrier is finding music that you can use, and then you just gotta like promote yourself a little bit. Dude, I like that's why I'm the head of it, like, because since I run a marketing company and I also run the dance company, it's like my marketing company, we'll just take you on as a client. We'll just do everything. Yes. I mean, I feel like when you are ready to release, if you're going to release an NFT with your company, at least you will have like your organization to see some comfort with, you know what I'm saying? Because you guys are doing this together. Yeah. But that's exciting, and if you guys do want to mint on Groove Time, let me know.
No, I'm saying this right now live. Like, I'm very interested. Like, I'll like I'm literally looking at the chat. I'm like, I'm good, like, because here's the thing with both companies. Like, it's in the contract that I will supersede all decisions. So like,
so you're the one who is making the decision.
Yeah,
it's all you.
Yeah,
whatever you want to do.
And this is just something like, I just know that if it's one of those things not everyone understands it, I feel like it's worth exploring. Like much like I don't know, ETFs and traditional investing, bonds and stocks. Like if people don't, like, the layman won't understand, but taking the time to understand it is beneficial. Same thing with this. It's future tech. It's also art, selling the art in a very new way. It's a potential, and I just feel like it'll also be a unique project that we can put together. Like aside from like, because half the projects all the projects we've done is always copyrighted music. We just produce it because everyone has whoever put the treatment and put the boards together, they just have an idea. So I would like this to be like a unique story that we tell as well.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think that there's anything to lose by going to a platform like Groove Time anyway, like, or Solana, because I mean, and if you're gonna mint it outside of Groove Time, then you've got to pay like the cost. But Ethereum, for sure, you're gonna have to pay like gas fees to list, right? Yeah, and there's gonna come a day where like everyone's just gonna know how to operate in the NFT space, but I don't see that happening for a while.
Yeah,
that people will like understand. But if it really is like low cost for you, and if there's potential for sales somehow, you know what I'm saying? Like, why not give it a shot?
Yeah, I'm like just curious to see, like, it would just be like a good project to involve everyone. Yeah.
Because what are you going to do? You would probably do a video for Instagram anyway.
Yep.
So why not put it on a platform where you could at least like get some profit, hopefully.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You meet people, talk about your work, and talk about your company, and someone out there might just be into the production. So you just never know if you don't put it out there.
Yeah, I mean, we have a Patreon there as well, and honestly, all our rehearsal spaces and venues have been paid thanks to our patrons. So, like,
so you guys have like a community already that you can actually like reach out to and support, who will support you. So,
yeah, like we're grateful. Like, not like our dancers never have to pay rehearsal fees or
amazing.
So yeah, like, it's thanks to the community. Thank you, everyone watching this.
Yes. I mean, and that's what it is all about too with NFTs. It's all like community. You have to get plugged into community. So if you already have a community that's supporting you and that's well connected to you, you're off to a good start. So
yeah. Man, came here to talk about it to learn more. Like, now I'm like, got like all these ideas. I see.
You should. And this is what I'm saying. And you asked why I got into NFTs or why NFTs, and this is exactly it. That I really genuinely feel that it can provide so much opportunity for dancers, and like for people who work hard. You guys go to rehearsals, and you guys would probably shoot videos and again just post it on your social media. But what is that going to get you? Likes and sure, like attention, and you can engage with your community that way. But you also have to know that you can profit if you try to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why I like NFTs.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that I think a lot of people we talk about a lot that people always undervalue is the community. I feel like you can't sell to no one. So
exactly, and that's kind of like a hard thing right now with like I think dance NFTs is we're still trying to understand the buyers, like who are dance NFT buyers, and that's still very new. So I feel like a lot of people are gonna experiment with like utility and what that's like. The first NFT that we sold, Frantic, was like, if someone pays $10,000, I'll fly and I'm gonna cook you like a home cooked meal.
Hey, let's go.
But no one paid $10,000 USD, and then even Lorena, she was giving away these like a collection of like 10 DVDs, or not DVDs, videos of whacking classes, and you have to pay like I think close to $300 to $400 for 10 recorded videos, which if you do the math, that breaks out to like $40 per video. And no one bid that high. And so we're trying to understand like who is out there like buying dance NFTs, and that's going to emerge obviously, as more dancers come onto the space and as more dance enthusiasts and dance fans come into the space. So I think a lot of people are going to be experimenting with what kind of utility and what's the most effective way to onboard your community into
Yeah.
the NFT space too.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing. I didn't think it was the demographic or the ideal customer for this.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's important to know, right? Because when you know who the demographic is, then you know how to effectively sell.
Yeah.
But we don't know who they are right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like it could be the art collector, right? So
Yeah.
like what do art collectors like about art that they collect? It's because maybe they support the artist, right? Maybe because they believe in the artist's mission. And maybe it doesn't have to do so much with the visual, but maybe they love the artist and what they're trying to do, right? So then it's important for the artist to talk about their story.
Yeah.
And then if it is about the visual, right? If the visual of the art like speaks to your identity and like who you are, communicating that even more, maybe having a portfolio in which like you show a lot of similar types of work and you talk about what the message is of the visual, that's going to resonate with someone who really appreciates like the actual art, right? But if someone loves community, maybe they want to get plugged into like your community. Maybe you do, and again, I think this is future visions for dance, right? Like maybe if you do like in-person events, or maybe if you have like merchandise or whatever, like maybe they'll buy for utility. So this is all going to be like emerging things, again, data that we all need as a community to be able to understand how can we enter this space, how can we maximize the possibilities here, and how can we learn from the people who are in the space.
Oh yeah, man, this is great. Okay, so we're like an hour 16. I know we said only an hour, but we just kind of went in. Okay, so I got one random well, not random, I got a question from one of my chats. Because it's a completely off from what we've done, what we were talking about, but it's more like dance related, because I know you also did some industry work as well. So your advice for going into the industry, into the dance industry now. So
the industry, I was in my 20s living in Hollywood trying to do the industry, and it's changed a lot since. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
so
they look at your follower account now.
It's changed a lot. And so I guess I just wonder, like, what is it about? You know, what are they asking about? Are they like a community dancer going into the industry? Or are they, and I do think it's just about like, you've got to love the experience of, I guess, hustling, like really training in your craft, and really working on your craft and putting in the work to develop yourself as an artist and as a performer. If you don't love like those experiences when you're sessioning and just trying to get better, right? And maybe you're trying to do industry for for some other type of gain, then it's not going to be good, because you have to continue to develop yourself, and it's not easy. Because you might get rejected a lot of times before you finally book a gig that you've wanted to do, or maybe book a gig that you don't even want to do. You'll go through rejection after rejection after rejection, audition until like you book just even one small thing. So you've got to love the hustle a little bit. Yeah. And it's not easy, because a lot of the rejection and it can feel like lonely, and it can kind of bear down on you. But if you love what you do and you believe in your capacity, like to grow, and you gain like that confidence because of all that you put yourself through in terms of growing yourself, I think that will take you really far, like that persistence. And then just getting the right people around you. Like, it's easy to get caught up in the industry and like have to be around people that you may not gel with or whatever. But if you have a great support system, like that you call family, that you can like really intimately call your friends, then go to them for support, and make sure that like you check in with them while you hustle. So I would just say to I would just say to stay persistent and learn to love the journey and not so much like always be so destination focused,
Trying to get
because
booked.
you will be on the journey so much, so you will spend more time on the journey than you will on like getting there. And once you get there, and once you book something that you like worked really hard for, like the reward is just so much more like it's just so much more meaningful because you know that you've put in that work. So yeah, I would just say stay persistent and enjoy the journey if you can.
Hell yeah.
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 It's like, it's very much, yeah, I love that answer because it's very much like, you know, like grounded. It's not a tactic of like, do this, this, and this, and this. It's like,
Yeah.
you got it. Like, enjoy the journey because that's, I love what you said. Like, you're going to be more in the journey than the destination.
You will be, and it's like that unless you are one of those lucky people who are in the right network. Because a lot of times, people will get booked because you know a certain person, you know a friend of a friend, or the choreographer knows you, or maybe y'all have crossed paths and you know some casting agent or whatever. And so a lot of times, like it's unfair. You look around at people who are like booking things, and you are putting that work on your journey, and a lot of people will book things over you. And you know, you might a lot of times just be like, well, why aren't you? You can get very down, right? So
Yeah.
it's important to, that's why again, ground yourself back to the journey and like work on yourself, because you know that when you're developing yourself, you're only elevating your own skills and your own gifts. And that should kind of be where your heart is, because a lot of times things may not turn out the way that you want, but if you know that you're working hard, you've got to like hold on to that and let that continue to fuel you. And again, reach out to your support group and your family. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it can definitely be a lonely journey, because it's not like you're especially constantly auditioning for roles or for stuff. It's not like having colleagues. No, like you're constantly interviewing for this spot, and it can be.
You are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you totally are. And you know, it can be intimidating, but if you know that you work hard, you go to classes, you train, you do what you need to do to better yourself. Like that's the best way for you to arm yourself when there are a lot of things around you that you can't control. You can't control who books what. You can't control like who's looking at what. You can control what you do.
Yeah.
And if you're proud of what you do, then you'll be able to hold your head high. So
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I guess like I'd like to ask you like one more question. Is like,
yeah.
do you have any like crazy wild predictions? Anything is possible for dance, or you know, like dance NFTs, Web 3.0, metaverse, whatever it is.
I feel like everybody's gonna get in NFTs. I feel like there's gonna be I mean, I don't know like how far into the future, but I want to see like animation series of like NFTs with like dance characters, and you know what I'm saying? And so what's happening in NFTs is like there's animations that come out, kind of like a comic book. I love comic books. I collect comics. And so I know back in the day, it's like you had to wait the next week for like another, like the next whatever chapter, or the next episode or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And so what's happening in the NFT space is like there's also these animation projects in which like if you buy a chapter, you get to partake in the formation of the new chapter.
That's so cool.
Like it's so cool.
'Cause like,
and like, yeah, and like these dope artists are coming out like creating these characters, and I'm like, I want to see like a dance animation series. I want to see like dance like characters, and whether they are real people or you know what I'm saying, like
yeah,
other types of characters, alien looking. I don't know. Who cares? But I just see that, and I see like I see like dancers kind of immortalizing themselves, like you know, because our bodies, we get old, right? But what if I could be an animation? What if there could be like an April animation? And,
you know what?
Yeah.
Like you just like you become like these the like, in Fortnite, like you can pick all these dances forever. You can just download this set of choreography or movements
Yeah.
that's from your library, and then people have to purchase that.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's the possibilities are endless, right? And so, I hope that that happens for dance, that like, we get to have these like animation types of series, in the digital world. And then I love Animal Crossing, so like I haven't gone into like the metaverse and like wandered around myself, but like I need to get up on there and like kind of check out what the metaverse is all about myself. But I see some crazy things happening there where people are really going to be hanging out in the metaverse, like just chilling there talking to each other. I really don't think that anything is ever going to replace real life interaction. Like, I need like real life interaction. And I feel like if we didn't need real life interactions, like people would be okay staying at home,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
but people are out, even though there's a virus, like people are out. So I don't think that this will ever take away from the real life experiences that we have. But yeah, I think there'll come a point where like people are just gonna be chilling in the metaverse and be like, hey, you want to go to the bar? Like, click on this link and you go to the bar with your friends in the metaverse.
Oh god.
Like, yeah, you'll like be clothed in like what NFTs if you got the Adidas NFT, you'll get your Adidas like clothing, change your clothes, you
Oh
get some
god.
Louis Vuitton like,
Dude,
pants.
yeah.
I don't know what.
And though then that's still gonna cost like thousands and thousands of bucks online in the
It
metaverse.
is.
Yeah, shit.
And then your avatars are gonna go to the club and then start breaking it down like
You-
frantic style.
Just gonna use all the moves from his friggin' NFT. Oh my god, just the possibility.
Yeah.
It's really like
No.
endless. But yeah,
I think like all that stuff is not too far into the future either. So it's already happening. So we'll see.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
shit. I think it's only a matter of time until it's like mass adoption. So
Yeah. 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 It's very exciting.
yeah.
I
All right.
love it.
So that's it.
Wait, I want to ask you.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any NFTs? Are you holding any NFTs?
No, I have not. I've not. I'm not. What do you call it? I don't currently have any NFTs. I've just been looking, and I'm all like, I am a very like picky buyer in terms of in many things that I like. Like for me, it took like my main camera that I have took me about 3 years to finally settle on a camera that I like. So it's
I
like,
see.
I
you
do
you kind of
like
like
I'm a research like
yeah.
pros and cons kind of buyer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so when
good.
I'm looking at art or like the community, like I'm just like for me if I purchase it, I feel like it would have to be the what's coming up for me is I would purchase it for the quality of the art that I like, and just because I'm a little hipster, like it has to be it has to be somehow different.
No, for sure. Like it's good. It's good that you wait. You don't want to spend like frivolously
Oh,
because
yeah.
that happens. Like you can like make very risky decisions if you're not like 100% like sure that you want to do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just be careful.
I
Yeah.
I would just rather not experience like buyer's remorse. It's like, is this good? If I get it, I'm like, I feel like it's worth putting up. Like, I would actually love to put this up on my wall. I would like to have that kind of pride with it. Yeah,
Smart. Very good.
yeah.
Well, Emroy, you hit me up when you're ready to make your NFT because I will
Yo,
I will support you all the way through from
Like,
start to finish.
the setup, like the conversation is probably gonna happen quick. Production, like in terms of making it, may take a while because there's a lot of stuff we already have on the books. But
Yeah.
like if as long as that's okay to like that we can get an initial starting going, because there's actually, man, that'd be so cool. Okay, here's my idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so like because an actually like a Halloween type of video that I want us to do, but there hasn't been a perfect track that I want yet. But I know and it involves different. Like, there's a whole scheme of like colors and like one of them is, like for example is the deals with the emotion of anger, and it would be just be all red lighting. People would have certain gags and everything, and they would have to dance with that.
I
And
see.
then
Yeah.
or the one another one is like the sadness, and it'd be all blue lighting, and they would have to all dance in the whole room would be in a veil, and they'll have to dance under the veil because they're in the sea of sadness.
Yeah. I mean,
So
that would be the fact that like, right, like you're producing this piece of art that's going to be very like, visually enticing, right? You've got to turn something like that into something that you can profit like from. So if like, and again, music is going to be a huge barrier for a lot of people because
yeah.
the music, and I keep saying this, it's like the music has to choose me and like I don't choose the music. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. I hear there.
I will be on Spotify like for freaking hours just looking for a song for my beginner's class. Just for beginner's class. Like,
Yeah.
I will be scrolling. It's like, nope. Not feeling it. Not feeling it. So yeah, it's going to be a tricky thing, but when you're ready, you let me know. I will be glad to help you.
Hell
in
yeah.
the way that I can.
Hell yeah. I'm down. Super down. Okay.
Yes,
So
let's do it.
where can people find you to connect with you?
Yeah. Instagram. I'm on like everything. Instagram, Twitter. My handle is AprilJoy_. And then my email is april@groovetime.com. So
Hell yeah.
I'm always on Instagram though. So people, if people can just follow me on Instagram and I'll totally like respond back there.
Yeah, I mean
I use Instagram more than like my text message. So
yeah, it's crazy how it's involved in that, right? Okay, so
yeah.
that's it. April, I appreciate you hopping on. Everyone,
Yeah.
give them a follow if you like this. Like, subscribe, do all the things, and we will see you guys next time. And make sure you give her a follow and
Yes.
support. All right, thank you everyone on live stream for hopping on. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Thank you guys. Bye.